And then we also captured where it would be used, right? So it could be used on the field in the form of mobile phone, tablet by the field teams, where they go to the shopping malls, to the stations, to all these big stores, department stores, to do the work. So these are the workers who actually get to do the work. So they would carry this phone, they would take the photos of before and after the work, and then they would capture the job details, what has been done, select everything, and then say submit, and get the signature of the supervisor, site supervisor who's there, right? So this is one version, one context of usage. Whereas in the office, it would be a PC or a desktop or a telephone that would be used by the key account managers, the operations team, to actually add the sites, to check with the customers, to say that this has been the work that is done, raise invoices and all these things, right? It could also be used at home by some of these people. Like that's the reason of this conference, right? We're talking about online, having online webinars, online sessions, online teaching, online learning, online working, work from home. So it's all about that. So how can it work at home? So there was no platform before that would actually enable these teams to work at home. So if it's snowing, for example, if it's really very cold, they can't even get out. So you can actually sit at your home. You can actually get to see what is happening in terms of the snow clearance in Glasgow, in Northern England, and in Wales. So you can actually get to see everything sitting at home. So again, that's a very important a means of communication. So you actually can understand that we are not stopping at a high level vision. I want to be the best leader in the services maintenance industry. You can't just stop at there, because that needs to be translated into reality. There needs to be some way that you actually capture that and make sure that that is realized, that is translated into a reality. And that's what we have been addressing in the last few slides, right? What is it? Why it is important? Who is it meant for? When is it going to be used? Where is it going to be used, and how? And the how part is basically because this was the vision that we created initially. We laid a roadmap for this, right? So this is how we're going to develop this platform and make sure all these questions are addressed slowly and surely. So we came up with a kind of a roadmap for this product. So I actually said that this is going to be a customer knowledge stream, and that there's a product development stream. So we will create a product roadmap. We'll start with the product backlog. We'll start creating user stories. We'll start creating collaboration diagrams, create wireframes, work on the architecture and design, develop, test, deploy. And this is going to be an iterative one. And that's why you can see it in the loop, right? It's not going to be just one-time activity, the agile mode. So we're going to, I'll show you some of these wireframes, some of the stories that I've been creating, the wireframes that I created, the class diagrams, collaboration diagrams, use case. I'll show all of them as we progress into the next sessions in the near future. So you can get a clear idea how we started off from a 30,000 feet view to actually start delivering something one by one, the sprints, first sprint, what we delivered, second sprint. You actually get to see it is taking a shape and a form, and then customers could actually use it and give feedback. So the vision is no more a vision of just a dream. It's actually a reality. It's getting into a reality, but slowly and surely. It's not something like a big bang that you actually can achieve in 2 years' time, but you actually achieve in the first 1 month, 2 months of time. You deliver one thing, and then after that, you deliver something else, incremental, iterative development, the agile way, right? And then that is the development stream. And then I also consider another thing, basically a customer knowledge stream. So you can't just do it on its a standalone. You can't just be on your own, just working on your own silos, right? You can't just think about, okay, I've got this idea, I'll go work on it, I'll create something and come up with a fantastic product, because you don't have any inputs or insights about who it's going to be used for and how they're going to use it. What are their goals? What are their expectations? So what I did was I actually conducted stakeholder interviews. First one, which is basically the internal ones, based on which this whole vision was created. That's done. And then I drew the insights from those stakeholder interviews and created this vision and roadmap. And then I created the customer profiles based on my initial understanding. I'll show you all those profiles, how they're created, the user profiles, the personas, and then I created the interview schedules with those prospective customers. I've had details interacting with them, created gap analysis in terms of what we wanted, as in the stakeholders internally, and what the customers wanted out of this. So there's a gap. Remember, we talked about the identity versus image. So this is what the stakeholders thought that they needed, versus this is what the customers really needed from the product or platform. So there would be ideally, it would be ideally a clear match most of the time, but then practically it's not, because there'll be always some kind of a gap. So that's what we're trying to understand between what you want as a company versus what your customers would need really. So I actually did a lot of different user studies, going out to the Tesco's, the P&Gs, and talking to a lot of different companies in the UK. I did that for about a couple of months, and then I came back, created this whole set of gap analysis, affinity analysis, and then from there on, we gathered the insights, and then we started with again, all these insights are going into the product backlog, because that's what is the whole purpose of having the customer interactions, to get the feedback, to have that. And then we created a product, a small little prototype, and then we went live with that, and we showcased that to the alpha testers, the people who agreed to have the first go, and then we got the feedback, and that's how we got to work on this for about a good 1.5 years. I worked on this project, delivering the releases in multiple iterations, and about every 2 months, 2.5 months, we started releasing something as a feature, and it was really well accepted. So we'll go through that journey, a detailed journey of how we developed, what kind of wireframes were created, how user interviews were done. I'll show you all of those in the next few weeks. Very interesting. So this is the roadmap.